What's up, J Fusion fans, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to react to Kamen Rider Saber's press conference. Now, before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that this video is not intended for viewers under the age of 13, so please be advised. Okay, so let's start. Kamen Rider Saber. Now, I have actually watched the official press conference before recording this video. So if you guys want to see that, I'll put a link down in the description so you guys can watch it too. However, of course, if you don't understand, I will explain some things here. Now, I am not going over the interviews because that would be too long and too much information. So we're just going to focus on the story, okay? Now, of course, you have the music by Tokyo Scott Paradise, very nice, very jazzy, and all that stuff. So, but anyways, we're just going to focus, like I said, on the story. So, anyways, here we go. Now we are, of course, introduced to our main character, Kamen Rider Saber. So his name is Shuichiro. He is a young novelist. So he works with his editor, who is Mei, and both of them are kind of caught in a some sort of mess. So they are they're caught in this whole mess where uh, they are kind of brought into an isekai where uh, fantastical creatures exist, creatures that exist only in legends, only in stories. So basically, a parallel world that is kind of powered by books. So uh, we you kind of have that fantasy setting there already. So it also kind of reminds me of Kamen Rider Ghost a little bit with the parallel worlds thing. You know, like we have our world and a magical other world, of course. So that connection may be week. But anyways, let's move on. So we are introduced to our main characters, and we also are introduced to our secondary Kamen Rider, and we are even introduced to two more Kamen Riders. Yes, there are more Kamen Riders appearing in the show. Now, the biggest shock, the biggest surprise that I've heard during the announcement is that there are going to be over 10, yes, over 10 Kamen Riders appearing in the show. So watch out for that. Yes, I'm getting the Kamen Rider Ryuki vibes right now because Kamen Rider Ryuki had 13 riders. Well, the 13th, the other characters kind of appeared in the movie. But yes, you heard me right, there are going to be over 10 characters in the story. So we already are introduced to our main character, Shuichiro, who is going to be Kamen Rider Saber, of course. Now we also are introduced to our secondary rider, Rintaro, who will be Kamen Rider Blaze, who ironically has the power of water. What? You know, Blaze, power of water. What? Anyways, moving on. So we also have our third rider, probably. So his name is Kento, and he's going to be Kamen Rider Spada. And we also have our fourth Kamen Rider, who is Ren, and he is going to be Kamen Rider Kenzan. Now, we also have a villainous rider introduced. So far he is kind of going to be the main villain that we're seeing for the earlier parts of the show. So his name is Kamen Rider Caliber, and so far we are already introduced to five, and that's already a big chunk of the over 10 riders that we're going to see in the story. Now, another character that has been introduced is a character named Tetsuo, who works for an organization called Sword of Logos. Sword of Logos is basically the organization which these Kamen Riders belong to. So, Tetsuo wasn't introduced as a Kamen Rider, but he is, well, kind of their chief mechanic. He takes care of all their equipment, all their weapons and stuff. So he's their equipment guy. Now, one thing that I noticed about Tetsuo is that when his name was announced, so on the screen you have the name of the actor, the name of the character. So they all had colored borders around them. So, for example, Shuichiro's name has a red border around it, of course, being a red colored Kamen Rider, and Rintaro has a blue border. Kento has a yellow border. Uh, Ren has a green border, and when Tetsuo was introduced, his name again was a dark violet border, which upon first glance, because the enemy, the villainous Kamen Rider, Caliber, was introduced, and we already see that his color is dark violet. So could this mean that Tetsuo is Caliber? We don't know for sure. However, again, this is just an early, an early assumption, but if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If it's not, well, I'm so sorry. But again, who knows what could happen? The show hasn't started yet. We still have a long way to go. So, we are also introduced to another character. Her name is Sophia, and she's kind of the head of the sort of logos, if you will. So she is called the Book Guardian, and she may be the one who bestows power upon Shuichiro so he can become Kamen Rider Saber. And you know what? I'm actually hoping right now that Rin also becomes a Kamen Rider somewhere in the future. Who knows? I'm hoping. Now, uh, so we are introduced to uh, the Kamen Riders and their allies in this press conference. However, the villains that were shown in the promotional video, so we are going to uh, the I'm trying to remember the name actually. So Megiddo, yes, they're the evil organization that the Kamen Riders are going to fight. So it's called Megiddo, and we already have, of course, Kamen Rider Caliber being part of this. So we are also introduced to three other villains who are Legis, Zuos, and Storius. So these three villains, uh, they weren't actually introduced. The actors were not present in the actual press conference, but you can see their faces in the promotional video. So you will see them when you watch it. And of course, as as expected, Sword of Logos is going to fight against Megiddo to save maybe both this world and the story world, which is Wonderland, if I'm not mistaken. Apologies if I can't get everything correct here, but anyways, so yeah, what's another thing that I uh, how do you say this? So another thing that I liked within the press conference. So when the 10 or over 10 Kamen Riders were announced, it was also said that each of them would have a unique fighting style. So we do see that uh, Saber and Blaze have a similar sword, and the only difference would be the hilt because of the emblems that they use. So all those hilts can be removable. That's also going to be part of the DX ride saber driver's gimmick. So the sword can have a different emblem, therefore having a different hilt. So again, Saber and Blaze kind of have a similar style. I think for the promotional poster, Spada also has quite a similar looking sword. And now the interesting thing here is it was said that again when each Kamen Rider is was said to have a unique fighting style, they were also going to have unique weapons as well. So it was said that one rider is going to have twin swords, and when Spada was no, not Spada, I'm sorry, Kenzan was introduced, his rider suit was not yet revealed, but was a silhouette. So he seems to be the one holding the twin swords, and another rider is said to wield a great sword. So that would be interesting to see. So apparently, maybe in the future, uh, the next few Kamen Riders will have unique looking swords. Or although Calibur's, well, he does have a similar sword, at least in size, but his blade has jagged edges, so almost kind of like spikes. But yeah, that's his unique sword. And again, maybe someday maybe we'd see a Kamen Rider fighting with a katana, for example. Who knows? So watch out for that. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Sorry if I'm rambling so much, but I am very excited for Kamen Rider Saber. So some of my personal thoughts. So I'm already liking Kamen Rider Saber. So, well, of course, as you can see, I like the color red and I like swords. So that's already a plus for me. So the suit designs are okay. Not exactly my favorite, but they're good. At least I can say. And the action again, I'm already expecting a lot because all of the Kamen Riders are going to use swords, so this the action is going to be sword heavy. So that one I am looking forward so much. So uh, again, Kamen Rider Saber comes out September 6th. Okay, that's Sunday, so 9 a.m. And yeah. ah, there's just so much excitement that I'm just all over the place right now. Sorry guys, I know. This isn't the perfect video. I can understand that. Okay, you don't need to tell me, or you can tell me if you want. That's really up to you. But yeah, yeah, so much excitement. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, of course, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JE Fusion. If you've seen my previous video, by the way, we have moved to a new Facebook page. I will link it down in the description again so you can check it out. And of course, you can also check out jefusion.com as always. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!